Well, despite the pandemic in the last year, I was bored because I do the same thing all the time and I just do it. And I started searching as part of my appraisal. I said I wanted to do some training to validate what I do day to day. And I found the Mini MBA and I was like, wow, here's something I can do. Short of going back, doing a full MBA, so this mini one, I got some more information from Malcolm. I then sent it to my CEO that I report work alongside and work to, and said, I'd like to do this. And I can see a benefit to you in me doing this because it'll help me understand a lot more of the reporting and the business structure. And it also gave me the confidence to turn around and say that I wanted to be more involved in helping define or deliver rather the strategy that we are doing in the wider business, because I'm always the delivery person and I sit there and I think, oh, you haven't thought about X, Y, and Z. And that's my role. I see that as a job to advise him. And we had a very frank conversation in my appraisal about things like that. And this just cemented it. And it's flexible enough that it keeps me on my toes to do it. And it's pretty amazing that the stuff that we've learnt, and I've been putting it into practice and I've shared ideas. So. Officially, my job title is executive assistant. Well, it was office manager, executive assistant first of all, then office manager. And then I said, look, I do both. And if you want an office manager, fine, I'll take that tag. But I'm an executive assistant and I deliver. And my colleagues, in the nature of the business that I work in, an office manager is somebody who makes sure there's enough stationery and that the electricity bill gets paid. They don't understand the strategy and the planning that goes on for the whole corporate business and how it actually, make sure you've got premises and a lease and everything that goes on. And you can bang on and bang on and bang on at people saying, I do this is my involvement, but they don't have any understanding or respect for what you're doing. And so I decided that this would give me a different approach. And I was thinking about it today, that if I look back from when I started to where I am now, the things that I have learned and how to deal with people and how I've been presenting things, the Mini MBA is 10 out of 10 each time. In fact, actually probably 20 out of 10, because I've had the confidence to say yes or no to something, or to, some Lindsay's lunch and learn things. It's just about saying, no, I haven't got capacity, or I can do this, or just some of the coaching that Malcolm has given. It's a very hard, diverse world that I work in the legal sector. There are 80 self-employed barristers who all are important. They're all number one. And the whole, so there's lots of challenges. So I think we did something on stakeholder management, and it's really made me, and my project is involved with what I'm doing something in the business, and it's really made me view people in a different light and recognizing it. It's just, and I had to get somebody to do something at work the other day, to talk, one of the managers to talk to one of their staff, and I had to say, your body language is telling me that you're coming with somewhat, you think this is a personal attack on you. It's not. I'm just asking you as the manager to deal with something. And I came out of it, a big sigh, a big deep breath, but I'm saying, yeah, actually that's that bit that Malcolm taught us. Absolutely. And whenever we have our one-to-one or virtual, not so much our virtual one-to-ones, because of the nature of where we are with Zoom and things. If I look back to when I had the first one, and we were all very hesitant about whether we shared anything, because it's the classroom, somehow being in a room physically with people, you're more relaxed to share things because those four walls. But on Zoom, it's a little bit different. I'm much more confident now to say, yeah, I've had a problem, I've made a mistake, and I belong to another networking group, and I actually shared it with them yesterday, something had happened, and because you sometimes just need, not to vent, but just to say that, and they were like, that's great, have you tried this? And they were just, but I don't think, well, in fact, actually, I know I would have reacted differently in a negative way before the Mini MBA than how I had to react this week in a difficult situation. And that's down to the coaching in the Mini MBA. They're good. It's really good, because in the beginning I thought, how is this going to work? This is going to be not more Zoom fatigue. It's going to be exhausting. One of the first things we learned was our personality and our learning styles. So I'll share, I'm a reflector. So it's really good for me. I sit there and I'm sure I do. And I'm sure Marcus goes, there she goes off and do it. And I listen and I reflect on it. So when you actually have a recorded session to watch, like most people, I can probably cope for about 20 minutes on watching the pre-recorded sessions. And then I think, well, what was that about? I need to go back and read it again. So it is like having your own book, your own handbook, where you can write notes and go back, and you can run it around your time. So the one we had the other day that we did, we were all online, it was recorded, and then it's sent to us afterwards. So you can listen again, because sometimes human nature is you can get distracted. The postman comes, the dog starts barking, and then you think, what was that? You can't say, sorry, can you repeat that again? Because there's a time allocated, and we're all busy and we're all working, and you take time out of work, you may take holiday to do this, it's your personal time, you've got to catch up with your work. It's really helpful, and that's what I liked about it, was it gave you the chance to do that flexibility. Oh, it's fantastic. They're such a great bunch. So I know, I imagine, I believe, I think for visually, there's a couple of people about the same age as me and the same sort of experience. And then you have the up and coming junior ones, and you just look at them and thinking, they're going to strive forward and do things. And they ask questions. They're not scared to say anything, whether they're feeling low or the highs. We have a WhatsApp group that we share. And if one of us is feeling low, they share it. And we're just honest with each other. And I really like that, because nobody is painting a false picture, and they're saying that the practicalities of life. And sometimes it's just a case saying, look, don't be frightened, have a chat with Malcolm. Absolutely. Absolutely. I've My network in Bristol was very small. I joined the local Bristol PA network group, which is sort of seems to be bubbling along. I belong to a wider one now, and there's just exposure to other people, and you start thinking, actually, yeah, because you never, when you find a good thing, you don't always want, it's like when you find a good restaurant, you don't want to tell everybody about it, because you want to be able to get a table there, particularly these days. But actually, you want to be able to hand hold and say, look, I'm doing this and this is really good. I was, I will be very honest and say, I was quite hesitant about telling my team that I was doing this. After the first session, I started to share with them stuff that I had learned and why I was doing it. And then I started to share with the professional practitioners that I work with, they say, oh, that's interesting. What are you doing? And why is this? And it's the credibility, actually. And I've got a degree, I've got this, I've got this CPD, everything else. Actually, I'm doing a mini MBA, and everybody's like, oh, that's really good, because they can see that you are committed and that you want to learn and improve. I'm not the youngest in the group, and I've been in business as in sales and as an executive assistant stuff for 30 years. You're never too old to learn, and the cohort that are with us, I like that, because we're of a cross section, and they bring to it a diversity, and you can see that, and it's about mentoring each other, because I learn from them and I think they learn from things that we share. Amazing.